This music was great. It let me know that it was Rush Limbaugh time. He loved music, by the way. Rush, we miss him. Been what, 2 weeks? Legendary broadcaster. You know, it seemed like when you were listening, it was all Rush. Although if you listen closely, we talked about Mr. Snerdley a lot, of course. Check this out.
Let's hear from the official Obama criticizer, Bo Snerdley. We got the technical set up to do this. Are we ready to go? All right. He's calling you. What did you say he's calling you?
I said Harry Reid, sir, has officially, in not so many words, called those of us that are not light-skinned darky ebonics. And I don't appreciate that. What is this country coming to when us people of the sun, we dark people, cannot be appreciated in the light of day by the light-skinned people? What has happened to America?
And that is the official Obama criticizer. I admit I had not looked at it from that perspective.
I didn't know Mr. Snerdley was going to get that interesting. He was always talking to Mr. Snerdley. You didn't always hear Mr. Snerdley respond. Who is Mr. Snerdley? Bo Snerdley, the producer of the Rush Limbaugh Show. They were together for a very long time. Hey, Bo, how are you? And I'm so sorry for your loss.
Hey, Greg, how are you doing? And thank you so much. And Rush produced Rush. I produced the show when Rush wasn't there. Rush was the most amazing broadcaster in, no offense to you, of course, or anyone other broadcaster. Rush was the most amazing broadcaster in American history. He began doing talk radio when there were about 1,200 talk radio stations. By the time Rush Limbaugh left us, there were over 12,000. There were no conservative television outlets when Rush started. The conservative print media was fledgling, and now it's full-blown. Rush changed the media landscape in America, and more than that, he changed people's lives. Every day, I hear from people that not only were their lives changed, but their children, and in some cases, their grandchildren. This man is just so amazing. And excuse me for just going on and on. Do you have a question?
No, totally understand. Totally understand, of course. Well, actually, real quick, how did you meet him? How did you first come to meet him?
Well, you know, I met Rush on the very first day he came to New York outside of the ABC building, 1330 Avenue of the Americas. And it was a little while after that before I began to work on his program. I met him as he was coming in the building. He was introduced to me by Ed McLaughlin, who was his broadcast partner, and also the former president of that time of ABC networks, radio networks. And I had no idea when I met Rush that day what a phenomena he would be in the broadcast industry, nor, of course, did I have any idea how Rush would affect my life. You know, I came on when there were 56 radio stations near the very, very beginning. But the most amazing thing about Rush is also the kind of human being he was. And most of the people that came to the show never, ever left. Most of us have been there for decades, or whatever our start date was with Rush, we never left. Because he was just such an amazing human being. He's generous, he was kind, he demanded perfection. Yes, he would throw you under the bus if you did something to screw up his show, period. You're going under the bus. But that was because he was relentless about having a perfect show every day, as he said, flawlessly executing broadcast excellence. Rush also cared very deeply about all of the people that worked on his staff. And I tell you what, it is a tremendous loss for us. I was telling someone else, I think that this is a pain that will be with me for the rest of my life.
Wow. Well, we're really sorry about that, but we're benefiting. I mean, Newsmax, Fox probably would not exist if it wasn't for his success. And by the way, he was great on TV. We talk about him as a radio man. I want to show you a clip, and I think you were involved with a TV show back in the 90s. Check this out, because he was one of the first people to ever do this kind of thing when he talks back to the person who's on television. You'll see what I mean in a second. Check it out.
It's also an example of, if you don't agree with my plan, then you don't want to do anything. Because my plan's the only plan. My plans are the only plans. My ideas are the only ideas. And if you disagree with them, then there is no alternative. Watch.
When our opponents have nothing else to offer, when they don't have a health care plan and they don't have an economic plan and they don't want to vote for any tough decisions to reduce the deficit, and they are mad because the Democrats are now the engine of change on issues like welfare reform and crime, then they resort to the politics of division and distraction and destruction.
Well, now, wait a minute. See, that's a lie.
That was very innovative stuff. That was really looking like that. Hey, Bo, he would talk about you a lot. He would refer to you a lot throughout the show, just kind of like as a character, even when you weren't able to respond, right? I mean, that happened a lot.
Well, no, the thing is, I did respond, but only he could hear it. So my mic wasn't in the studio, was so he could hear it, but the audience couldn't, on purpose. As he used to say, you know, he belonged on that side of the glass, and those of us, as he affectionately called us, on his highly overrated staff, good thing we weren't on the other side of the glass. So total fun. He was such he's such an amazing guy, you know. And by the way, that television clip that you played, yeah, I was there for the TV show. Those were some long weeks. You know, we would leave from the radio show and go right to the television studios, and sometimes we'd be there till 9 or 10 at night. So these were incredibly long days, and so much innovation. Some of it has ended up on some of the montages he put together. People are still using a lot of the techniques that Rush developed and inspired.
Well, Bo, it's so great to kind of see you, because I've been listening to that show for a long time and hearing about you, and I had no idea what you looked like. You know, people sometimes, right?
Here I am. Look, Mom, there's a black guy on TV. Who is he? He's Bo Snerdley.
Bo,
I'm
it
just
is
messing with you, Greg.
No, hey, listen, I went there. You know what I mean? And people are sometimes surprised. And, you know, I guess.
And he's a conservative, and he's black. How'd that happen? There are lots of us.
And I guess that's on me for bringing it up. You know what I mean? I just feel it's on me. All right, well, don't tell anybody I was such an awkward jerk about it. And
The word awkward. It's so much. Thanks for having me on.
Bo, thank you. And what are you going to do now? I mean, look, you've got
the Rush Limbaugh show's still on, and it's going to be on. And the Limbaugh letter is still publishing, and we're preparing the newsletter for another issue right now. Rush's legacy is going to live on, and we are not going to let it die. And by the way, to the lefties that think that they are going to frame Rush's legacy, absolutely wrong. Those of us who love Rush are going to make sure that the correct legacy for this incredible giant is the correct one.
Beautiful. So wait a second, just real quick. So there's no, the Rush Limbaugh show goes on. I mean, I've heard repeats, I've heard highlights, but what about somebody, you know, in that spot? Day of air, is that going to happen?
Yes.
Any idea who?
Well, no, I don't have any idea who. That's above my pay grade.
For now, we'll see what the future holds. Bo Snerdley, thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
All right, take care now.
My pleasure to be with you.
You bet, pal.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.